Hi wine friends, and happy Wine Wednesday. If you're new, I'm Ellie from A Glass After Work. Thanks for joining. I wanted to start off 2021 with a local Virginia winery that Don and I have been going to now basically throughout the pandemic. We discovered Slater Run Vineyards earlier this year because they were a small winery. They were having reservations and outdoor seating and made it very clear that they were taking the pandemic seriously and taking social distancing seriously. And so we were looking for some outdoor activity, wanted to do some wine tasting, and thought we would check it out. And we were so surprised about how wonderful it was. We've actually been back several times. We actually did a family gathering there, social distance gathering of 6 of us. My parents came up from North Carolina, had my cousins come up from Richmond, and we all met there for a couple of hours, did a social distanced wine tasting, eating. It was wonderful. They took all of the stress of the pandemic out of getting together. And to be honest, the wine is fantastic. So I thought it would be perfect to start off 2021 with sharing one of their wines with you guys. This is the 2016 First Bridge, and it's a blend of 44% Cabernet Franc, 26% Merlot, 25% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 5% Petit Verdot. 70% of the wines are grown actually on Slater Run Vineyard property. 30% do come from other vineyards, but they're all Virginia wine grapes. And that to me is really important. I hate when Virginia wineries or other state wineries say that they're giving you, Virginia wine, but they're actually bringing their grapes in from other states. That's not cool. Wow, it is just a beautiful ruby color. It's a little on the lighter side and it is starting to get little hints of garnet in there. It's definitely had a little bit of aging on it. Oh, and such a nice nose. Okay, I'm getting some kind of Fig Newton type notes, some strawberries. Definitely some sweet tobacco, which I just love that earthiness on the nose mixed with the figs and the strawberries. Maybe a little bit of molasses happening in there too. I wouldn't say it's sweet necessarily, but there's kind of that dark richness smell happening. And some other kinds of berries, maybe some raspberries. Did I mention strawberries? It's interesting because this wine is now hitting the point where it's fruit forward. There's definitely some good fruit, but it's also getting some of those other kind of savory notes, the molasses and the tobacco, which really gives it a little bit of balance happening there. All right, why don't we give it a taste? Cheers. So good. So, okay, here's what I'm getting. I would say it's kind of on the lighter to medium tannin side. On the medium body, definitely a little bit of high acidity. This is a food-friendly wine. Give me some, well, honestly, it's probably a little expensive for pizza since it's a $38 wine. It's probably not really everyday price or pizza price, but I would put it with, you know me, I like my cheese and charcuterie boards. I definitely would put it with that. I think it would go really well with, maybe with some lighter meat dishes. You might be able to get away with like a turkey or something like that. It might make a good Thanksgiving wine. I mean, I know we've just finished the holidays, but I think it would make a really nice ham wine. I don't know if you're ready to start thinking about Easter hams yet, but I think it would make a really nice ham wine. It's a little fruitier in the palate than it was on the nose. Much more on the strawberry, raspberry side of things, and a little more on the sweet tobacco side of things. I'm not getting as much of that fig molasses type note happening in the mouth. So the other great thing about Slater Run Vineyards is that it is family owned, and not just family owned now. It's owned by Christopher and Keenan and Keenan's parents, but actually Keenan's ancestors bought and started farming the farm 300 years ago in 1720. So this farm has been in their family for 300 years. It's just, as somebody whose family has come over much more recently, I mean, my grandfather is actually the immigrant on my dad's side. Like, the idea that there is family property for 300 years is just absolutely amazing to me. So even though the property has been farmed for 300 years and been in the family, it's actually really become more of the winery setup that it is now. Back in 2010, I believe. They are now completely solar powered. They have 12 plus acres under vine. Everything is French wine style. The winemaker is France. She's from France, Catel Gerard. I'm sure I butchered her name, but her family has a winery in France. They actually sell 2 wines from her family's winery at Slater Run, which I thought was really cool. Don really likes the Sauvignon Blanc from her family's French winery. So it's all around a very family-oriented place. It's very safe if you live in the DC area and want to take a visit out there during the pandemic. I encourage you, if you are visiting the Virginia wine country or the DC area post-pandemic and want to take a jaunt out into Virginia wine country, definitely a winery to check out. We love it there. And of course, I would love to know, have you had Virginia wines before? If so, which wineries and what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And next week, I am gonna have this Vina Otano Crianza. It's a Rioja, so a red wine from Spain. And I learned about this wine from another YouTuber, Wine Guide. I will make sure to link to his review of this and to his YouTube channel down below so you can check it out ahead of time, see if this is a wine you want to grab and maybe taste along with me. He just liked it so much, talked about how he bought a case of it, and it intrigued me. So I went and I found it myself and thought I would give it a go. And that is everything I have for today. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate those. If you aren't already a subscriber, you can do that by clicking on the icon right here or on the subscribe button down below. But don't forget, also click on that bell because it will notify you when I upload a new video, which is going to be every Wine Wednesday. And if you are looking for a recommendation, you can find one right there. Thanks for joining and have a happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.